Hello, hello. This is JD from Curiosity Leaf, leaving you with a review of this particular tea kettle. The funny thing about this, as a tea person, the name Narcissus actually is quite fitting if you are a tea brewer like me, because you have Narcissus oolong, also known as rokoi, which is a Chinese oolong tea, rock tea. What I love about this, something that I want to point out that almost nobody leaves in their reviews, which makes it very hard for me to find a suitable purchase. I want to know, when I turn on my kettle, will it hold the temperature that I set in the previous session? And this one I can confidently say, yes, it does. So if I wanted to set it at 196, I can take the kettle off, do my session, do whatever I need to do with it, bring it back to the kettle, place it back on, and the automatic set temperature is there from the last session or from the last time it was on. So for me, when I am, especially considering the size of this, it's not particularly big if you consume so much. For those of you guys who do pour over coffee, I know you don't need a large kettle. I am used to the larger sizes. And I've had my last one for going on over 5 years now, so it was time for an upgrade. But this one is for my office space, not for here at home. My husband just purchased a different model kettle, and that one is so nice. This one I found at a good coupon offer from the platform. Now, one thing that I also want to point out is the lid. This is what that top looks like. It's all metal. You do have this wooden knob here, as long as the wooden side handle here. But let me go ahead and turn this off yet. The lid, I know some people are picky with the metal on metal. You do get that scrapey feel. If that is a make or break deal for you, you do get that with this kettle, which I was actually expecting given the price of this, of it being on the lower end. So if you don't like that scrapey metal sensation, you probably don't want to opt for this. For those who are more bougie and, like the little accents, the little nitpicky things, nitty gritty things. I know there are the kettle that my husband got, actually, it's kind of annoying because it doesn't make any noise at all. But I like feeling the snap. The scratching feeling I could do without, but at least I know it's in, it snaps in. So the other thing I want to point out too with this handle is there's not a great big dip in the middle, so you really might want to be really cautious if you need to lift the lid while it is still warm. That's really not an issue for me. And that was the main thing I wanted to point out. It's pretty much straightforward. You set down the kettle, or you can just press the power button. You can set to your desired temperature. I believe if you wrap it, hold, it moves at a quicker pace, and it just goes in a circle. Let's see what the lowest temperature setting is. Hey, it goes all the way down. 100. I haven't even noticed that. Okay, so it goes all the way down to 100 degrees. I don't know what, maybe milk, right? You would just want to warm your milk up. I don't know who would put milk in I don't know. I'm not a big milk drinker, but anyway, it goes all the way down to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. You have the hold option. I don't need any of that. I just wanted to know if I set it to, let's say, if I'm drinking green teas, right? Maybe I want to set it to 175. If I set it to 175, I'm making green tea. Let me show you the pour really quick so you can see what it looks like. This is that spout. So let me actually move it over here so you can see the pour a little bit better. So here's that spout. It pours fairly quickly, honestly. And let me go ahead and get rid of the water really quick. So that spout is actually flat. It is not curved or anything like that. The other thing is, some people, again, the accents, the little slight things, the spout is bent here and here, so it's not a perfect aesthetic wave, convex, or parabola, whatever you want to call it. But the flow is quite fine. It does what it needs to do. It functions pretty fine. Again, there's that scratchy feeling sensation that you get there. So if I were to, again, pour from the spout, and you can see in here how low the spout neck goes, pretty low down there. And again, get the lid off so I can pour. You know, so it flows very nicely. Flows quite nice. So if I were to empty it, there's hardly any water in there. Hardly. You know, you can get all of that out. You know, there's a little tiny bit of water in there. So this is what it is. It takes some getting used to, the straight handle, but it's all wood. This is a whole wood piece. It's not wood coated or a laminate or anything like that. This is a complete wood piece. I believe this is also a complete wood piece. It feels like it. Definitely feels like it if you tap it. And yeah, this thing is pretty quick. I would say it heats up to over 200 degrees in about 4 minutes or so, at least with my experience. So, but again, see, I set it at 175. It's going to stay at 175. I don't know if that's just a new feature with these newer kettles. I am used to old school. Again, my kettle from 5 years ago, I would have to reset that temperature every time. It was one of those button ones that you'd press on the handle, beep, 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 and you'd have to reset it every single time. It always went back to 212 every time you would set it back down. So for me in my office space, I can just fill it up. I don't have to worry about setting anything. All I have to do is just press power, and then it will go back to 175 every single time, unless if I change it. So this is what I wanted to let you know. Reviewers of kettles, please include this. Again, I don't know if it's just a new overall setting for every single device now. There's a million of these types of kettles out there. This one, for the price of under $50, we'll see how long it lasts. But I can confidently say that it's a simple piece of machinery. It does what it needs to do. I've so far had one session with it. The only question is, how long will it last? For under $50, I think it's a good buy.